47.
The last loose red.
55.
Last, and we'll now go for the split. He's obviously seen another red available, the one nearest
62.
the pink. Yes.
$63.
แล้วมันก็จะต้องเจอกับแก๊ง
70.
The applause at one is available, middle bag. This is a big red. Because had it dropped,
70.
it would have been a frame winner. As it is, he leads by 70 points. But 75 possible points remain on table.
It wasn't a gimme though. This red's easy enough. It's more about getting on an high-valued colour.
Foul.
Dead straight, straight and off.
Will he concede? No? It wouldn't have surprised me at all. The lead now is 74, and a total of 67 remain on table, so snooker is required. It's over now.
One.
At worst, at the end of the afternoon session, young Selby
8.
will be drawing with the 2 times champion.
9. $16. 17.
This is just
24.
mopping up the frame now. Table time for Mark Selby.
25. $32.
Good shot.
33.
And a perfect angle on the blue to locate his white for the yellow.
$38. 40. 43.
43.
57.
And this frame just taking over 10 minutes. After, of course, the re-rack.
52.
A 70.
65 in the frame. Martin.
And the clearance of 65. Victory in the frame by 139 points to
Selby. He was 2-0 down, remember. It's perfectly set up for this evening's session.
Thank you. Frame 9.
What will
Mark Selby
happen?
to break.
Dominic, you've been there at this stage, twice a winner of majors. How important is this first frame of the evening?
Well, it is very important, John. It just gets your momentum going and relaxes you, because you never, I know it's 4-all and both players have obviously therefore won 4 frames each, but you never really settle down until you've won your first frame of a session. It's a bit like starting again for both of these guys, almost like a best of 9 match now. Did share a courtesy car coming down here this evening with Ronnie, and he was saying he was very disappointed that all the games went so scrappy, and he always likes to put on a bit of a show, and I think Ronnie detests tough, scrappy frames, likes fast attacking opening frames. That's his style of play, of course.
Wow, and a miss.
A complete miss.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
More importantly, possibly, an opportunity for his opponent to score. Effective split. Blue easier than the pink, according to Ronnie O'Sullivan. Ooh. How close did that white get?
6.
Yes, very close, John. But it's finished okay for Ronnie. That was a very good opening red to start this break because it wasn't easy, and the only way he could get on a colour was to take the risk of splitting the bunch open in screwing back for a colour. But these reds are just where Ronnie wants them now.
7.
Sure, Ronnie will want to get the red off the black spot as soon as possible.
And can do so this time. Pink
13.
is respotted, but is not potable.
14.
So the black will do very nicely, thank you.
21. 22. 29. 30. 37.
Not many unsold tickets.
38.
'Well, this is precisely the start that Ronnie O'Sullivan wanted.
45.
Yes, Ronnie did get in early in some of the frames this afternoon, but broke
46.
down rather prematurely, didn't get the split of the bunch quite right, and had to play safety. And then the frames rather got bogged down, but this is absolutely
53.
the perfect start for Ronnie.
54. 61. 62.
62 in 4 minutes. For once, his defence not accurate. And I do remember back in 1997, Dominic
69.
commentating on Ronnie O'Sullivan maximum a 147 in 5 minutes and 20 seconds.
70.
Yes, scarcely seems possible really when you consider this break, which is very free and flowing, has already taken 4.5 minutes, and there's 5 reds still left on the table. Really do have to see that 147 to believe it. 5 minutes 20 seconds. That was against Mick Price,
78.
professional from Nuneaton, retired now.
Frame well won.
85.
Using the left this time.
86.
He finished the afternoon session with 108 clearance. Are we to witness another 100?
93.
'Wobbled.
93. On the
Wooden
frame.
drop
Ronnie
for
O'Sullivan.
an excellent break by Ronnie O'Sullivan. He takes the lead for the first time
finals. He tends to win them up in the 70%. I think 17 finals he's won out of the 24 that he's been in. Good stuff, isn't it?
Oh, that's a very high percentage, and he's won this tournament a few times in the past, so he'll be the more comfortable out there in that pressure tonight.
He's won this final twice in the past, and I don't need to tell John Evans that on both occasions we had a long night.
Indeed. 2004, 2005. 19 world ranking tournaments in all.
One.
Saw that a lot this afternoon, players leaving red on into one of the centre pockets from their break-off. But interestingly, Ronnie broke off left-handed there.
Six.
Red portable to green pocket.
Mark Selby 6.
Finished on the black, yes, but missed the pot.
Mark Selby knew immediately he'd miss that red. Put it onto the near jaw.
I don't think he can see sufficient of the red on the right-hand side, nearest to the rail, to pot it. And the red further left is potable, but
16.
so missable.
$17.
How much harm has he done? This is just
Oh, plenty, and that man there knows it.
mopping up the frame now. Table time for Mark Selby.
Easy starter for O'Sullivan.
25.
Should be able to get perfectly on the black into the opposite corner.
1. $32.
Can't really see it from here, but possibly the black, then the red along this near cush.
33.
And the perfect angle on the blue to locate his white for the yellow.
9. 38.
And this is a shot that wasn't working too well for Ronnie earlier today. Splitting the bunch open, wasn't landing
40.
on a red too often.
$43. 16.
Well, again, Dominic, you did note that, and this frame seemingly nothing
Just
easy
taking
for
over.
Ronnie again after the split. 10 minutes. After, of course, the re-rack.
52. 17. 32. 33. 40.
Just the one available,
41.
but one is enough.
40. 48. 49.
This was a difficult long red that Selby missed.
56.
Double kissed another red. Kept two reds down towards that right-hand corner for Ronnie. And it's when Ronnie O'Sullivan
57.
plays like this that really does put your opponent under pressure. And if anything's going to make Mark Selby struggle tonight, it's Ronnie playing like this.
64. 65.
Well, he's making everything look ridiculously easy at the moment. The lead now of 59 points. Now 66.
72.
And the red
73.
makes the frame to all intents and purposes. This now is vintage O'Sullivan.
80.
Yes, he really can't play any better than this. Just shows the difference, doesn't it, when you split the bunch open and you're able to
81.
land on something and keep the break going. Although Ronnie had to put a long red after splitting the bunch open.
87.
This is
88.
just the sort of snooker that Ronnie loves to play.
$94. 95.
So we didn't
101.
score a point in the last frame of the
102.
afternoon when Ronnie cleared with a break of 108. Then started the evening session. Selby pointless
108.
again as Ronnie got a 93.
110.
He has at least got 6 points in this frame, but little consolation.
113.
Yes, he's got some thinking to do. There's no doubt about that.
117. 120.
The first time since the first two frames won by Selby,
128.
a gap of 2 frames appears. But this time it's in Ronnie O'Sullivan's favour.
35 in frame. Cue frame 11, Mark Selby to break.
Well, it's still early days. We've had 2 frames tonight, both won by Ronnie O'Sullivan. The first in just under 9 minutes and the second in just under 10. So he's slowing up. And interestingly, the last time these two met was in the semi-final of the UK at Telford, It went to 8 all, and Ronnie then compiled a maximum 147. Does that leave scars?
Well, not really. The frame score does sometimes. If you get hammered 6-0, 6-1, that leaves more of a scar, but at the end of the day, it went to a deciding frame, so there was nothing really in it. And that's the sort of thing that always helps when you do make a mistake, as Ronnie just did. Getting away with it is paramount. But of course, you can't legislate for that. You're just as likely to leave everything on for your opponent as not leave anything on.
Nine possible frames tonight, but they don't all have to be completed. It is the first to 9.
When would you want to show Nigel Walker? Just sort of gives Snooker a good profile if someone like him is there in attendance. Yeah, former Olympic sprinter and Welsh rugby player.
No.
Likes our commentary because I think he's got his headphone or earpiece in his hands. Well, these reds are getting slowly and surely spread all over the table, so one mistake from either player here could be costly. Just wonder whether Mark Selby can get through to red to the left centre, but there's no positional value because the pink and the blue won't go into the centre pockets.
Well, after breaks of 93 and 135 in no time at all, this is something of a woe time frame. Nearly 6 minutes gone. No score as yet. But as you so rightly say, Dominic, the first red and everything opens up.
Yes, you can imagine what's going through Mark Selby's mind here. It's very important for him to get the first chance in this frame, the way the reds are spread. Because we've seen the potency of Ronnie's break building so far this evening.
I don't think O'Sullivan can see that red to pot anyway. It's a very difficult pot, even to attempt, if he could see it. But the red between the green and the brown is playable, but asking for trouble, because if you miss the pot to the middle, you then snookered behind the red, stuck to the brown at the moment. Not easy. Well played. Red certainly available to the left middle pocket, but if he were to miss, opens up the whole table.
Yes, well, Mark Selby feel he has no option but to just trickle into the pack of reds here, but he's trying to, or was considering anyway, drawing the cue ball back to this cushion. Never know where the reds are going to go, that's the only problem.
Does he feel pleased with the end result there? He had little other option. The first frame of the evening, incidentally, finished in 8 minutes 52 seconds. And we are yet to see a point in this frame. Well, the point scored anyway. We see the point in the frame.
Yes, that could change soon, because that was a very telling safety shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Purposely tried to hide those two reds together in front and to the left of the black, so Mark Selby can't trickle into those. He's got a long, dead straight red into the green pocket, but it's very risky and very difficult.
and can't get low on the white to drag the ball, to drag the white back onto cushion. So is the siege over?
Well, that was a mistake from Mark Selby, and Ronnie can pot this red, but believe me, it's more difficult than it looks there. Well played. And it's a very good positional shot from Ronnie because he can get through to the blue in the opposite centre.
And virtually everything on table now is potable.
6. Seven.
We waited
14.
nearly 12 minutes for the first pot,
15.
but now O'Sullivan accelerates. Surprised.
22.
Yes, didn't want to go anywhere near those two reds, Ronnie, with the cue ball. Wanted to go past them. Just got the line of the shot wrong. So it will be end of break.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 22.
But once again, Mark Selby in a lot of trouble.
He can't dig. Can't get his cue in low on the cue ball.
Just wondering whether he can possibly pot a red into the left centre, take the cue ball up towards that other red near the green pocket where he is now. It's probably the only shot that I can see really that offers some reward.
One, but not quite the one intended. Here we are. And the drop.
Yes, but unfortunately for Mark, he can't pot the green. I may feel obliged to have to attempt the brown into the left centre. And when you've been frozen out the match, as Mark Selby has been this evening, you really don't want to have to be forced into shots like that.
Wait, yeah.
Does that pot, Dominic?
I think it will. Looking out into the arena, I'd say it does. Tendency here, though, is to undercut them. When you're nervous and the pressure's on.
Good man, well done.
Five.
There's a fabulous pot from Mark Selby. That one really had to go in from his point of view. Knew he was leaving Ronnie straight in if he'd missed it.
Six.
Well, it has to be said now that this is a glorious opportunity
9.
for Mark Selby, because everything is available.
Ten. $17. 18. 25. 26.
'Doesn't have to do anything with his white. Reds await him.
31. 32.
If he does pot blues and pinks with 4 of these 6 remaining reds, he would need one of those 2 slightly more awkward ones just to the left of the yellow. But I
37.
don't think the one nearest the yellow, or nearest but one, would pose too much of a problem.
$38.
I think the pink will respot without causing any inconvenience with the red alongside.
44. 45. 50.
Or this starting off with a fluke, it must be remembered.
51.
But having said that, I don't think anyone will bear young Mr. Selby any ill will regarding that. Oh, I thought for a second that was stay out.
Yes, John, I think Mark Selby thought for a second that black wasn't in. Actually hit that black on a completely different angle to the one he intended, and that's why the cue ball, as you can see, is going a bit further up the table than he wanted.
A lead of 37. This is why he came for the black. He knows that if he pots this, 43 points will remain on the table, and he now leads by 44.
66.
Well, I can't really begin to tell you how impressive this break has been from Mark Selby after what Ronnie had done to him in the previous 2 frames.
67.
Tremendous riposte.
So the lead is 50-5-0, and if Selby doesn't pot this red, I don't see Ronnie O'Sullivan coming back to table. Indeed, he's conceded. So a victory in the 3rd frame for young.
What he's been doing since.
And think of the pressure that was involved with that, because 6-5 now, it could well have been 7-4, and Ronnie might have been just a couple of frames away from lifting this trophy. It's flown by this evening. One more, and it's another break. You don't really want to send them out again in case they come back as they did this afternoon.
Yes, this is the last frame before the interval, which comes after 4 frames. And a massive frame really, Dominic, isn't it?
Oh yes, it is, because if Ronnie was to win it, 7-5, just needing 2 more frames, Mark Selby really would have his back to the wall. If he pots long opening reds like that, he's got every chance to make it 6-all, and that wasn't a bad little kiss on the blue. Choice of green or brown. Brown is the more difficult pot. Green, probably the more difficult positionally, but was able to play that with an element of safety, so it took a bit of pressure off the pot.
And 4 reds already dislodged. Two factors now: potting, of course, and then positioning. Obviously the pink will pass, as we can now see.
$11. $12. 19. 20.
Will Mark Selby play for this last remaining loose red? Or will he go into the pack? If he does play for the loose red, he'll probably leave an angle on it to disturb the remaining pack of reds. Well, I think he intended to. Just gone a bit straight, so now he'll have to leave an angle on the black. Oh, he's gone a bit far here. The angle's good, but the pot is, well, with the speed that which he has to play this black to open the cluster, the black becomes a little bit more missable.
And this is where you need just a little bit of luck.
Yes, and you also need to be careful you don't pot a red as well. Ah, didn't hit them too hard, didn't need to. The cluster opened very nicely, but the difficulty in that pot was evident there. Just cut it too thin. Now, can Ronnie O'Sullivan mount a counter-attack? 28 points behind. Doesn't have the easiest of starters.